tactics to activate you. Exact kind of fights that you want to look for in a round. So that's where things start to feel a little bit better as a player in the moment as you go through the competition of the major.
And we talk about those phase runs into the playoffs, and throughout history that has been the case. You've got to have full trust in everyone on the team, and that's been phased
over the
And I mean, like, yeah, there's tons of buzzwords
over 21.5 okay
no
ngaro
is like confidence, which is just like a giant umbrella term, but that's confidence in your own game as an individual. It's also confidence in the kind of tactics and the philosophy of the team overall wants to play for, which comes from the coach and the IGL. Confidence in the calls that your IGL is bringing out in the moment in that isolated round. Confidence that you can rely on the guy next to you to throw the proper utility, to have the correct shift in the defense, and all of a sudden, once players are taking like kind of red flags out of their mind because they trust the guy they're playing with, everything gets a lot more easy. And then you can dive into the playbook, and then you can kind of be a lot more communicative and flowing and come up with ideas and being
copyright la copyright mo violation ဆိုပြီးတော့ဖြစ်တာဟုတ်ရင်လည်းစိတ်မကောင်းတယ်ဟာမตายထည့်ပြီးတော့ကြက်နေအောက်ကကြည့်ပါတယောက်တယ်ဟာလားအဆင်ပြေလားခဏကို notification တော့ပုံနဲ့ရတော့နည်းနည်းပါရှူရှောင်းဝါးညာကလီပြီးသွားတယ်ဒီကဘာ note တက်တယ်ကြည့်
got the freeze time coming through.
You know, you talk about feeling comfortable in the server when your PC has tech issues during a match.
ပြက်လို့မရဘူးဒီတစ်ခါထိလို့ရတော့လှုပ်ထားသမျှအကုန်ရေတဲ့တွန်းတွဲတဲ့တုံလိုက်တယ်လို့ပဲကုန်ဖုံးလို့ဖြစ်သွားမှာ
like, you know, maybe like a fight happened in like a really weird angle. You're like, what the hell's the PC?
Yeah, and these things get in your mind.
ကုန်ဖုံးလို့ပြတ်ထွက်အောင်ခုမြင်ရတယ်မလားခုမြင်ရတယ်မချစ်ဆုံးပြတ်သွားလိုက်တာဂျန်နီဘာနဲ့လည်းမှုဖုံးနေတယ်လက် on ထင်နေ copyright ထိလို့ဆိုအော်ဟဲ့နေဟုတ်လား
Yeah, so a good time out here.
ရမှုက violation ထိတာကို copyright ထိတာမဟုတ် violation ဘာဟိုထင်တယ်ဒီမှာဘာရေးထားလဲဆို
Focus up because I see a double op setup on the server. Donk has one, Shiro has one.
Okay. We've seen Donk with the secondary AWP before. So throwing a little new defensive look coming out of this tech pause, and FaZe going to be wondering what exactly do they have in store for us? What's FaZe going to be bringing to the table out of this timeout?
Oh, keeping it. And going for a mid-peak is Donk. So looking for that opener while Shiro takes the long spawn.
Yeah, and it looks like Shiro's just going to stick at the long corner as well, so they can use their smokes back towards Catwalk if they choose to. And instead it'll be Tanir crossing over.
ပုံထိတယ်ချစ်ဆုံးတယ်ဒီရောက်တဲ့နေပြန်ပြ violation ထိမှာရှမ်းလွယ်ထိရှမ်းက wise back လို့ကိုပါလို့ထိတာရှမ်းလေးရဟာလားကိုလည်းခဏလေးကိုလည်းဒါကိုဖျောက်ပြီးတော့နောက်တစ်ခုဟိုလောက်ထားမှရအောင်
A lot of emphasis on
establishing
success.
Also, sponsor le. Yeah, why be an a chain local mugulu then? How do they just say? This only thing I want to say.
Want that to be a point that they can exploit moving forward.
Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah.
Jacob, the victim of the sniper.
Sponsor local little tema. Tin any caption, devil. See, quite net. I see. Go good over my people parado. Oh,
political defensive player pops, so he kind of gets wrecked, and then obviously Shiro's op chimes in. Still haven't seen the second op on Donk on the other side of the map. 3 versus 5 and smoked out at the B bomb site, buying time for Tanir's flank to come into effect. He's going to see short clear. He's going to see mid clear.
Donk then peeking out, connecting his shot on Brokey. And then Twist wants nothing to do with that. So we now got Frozen making his way back into Tanir's waiting arms. And Twist is stuck in tunnels. So an AK upgrade for Tanir. It's going to be aware of the possible position of Twists.
Yeah, I mean, they know there's probably an ending towards the B bomb site with 1 kill in tunnels, 1 kill in mid. So they're just going to let him have it. They want to keep the economy flowing, especially with this double off setup. You know, some money built back up.
It's clean with it on. Cloak quality to what Piana. Hello. Paul. Hello. Copyright level video. How violation of video. So you have to the chisel.
And nobody falling for team spirit. This passive defense, once again enacted by them, is very effective. And FaZe head into round 7 down by 2.
Yeah, well, AWP coming out for Brokey, yet to get a kill. Maybe this all can change his fortune. 0 and 6 at the moment. Donk continuing to use his AWP towards middle. No one from FaZe stepping into the open yet, and just as Brokey goes to, he gets blasted by the grenade.
At least the second one's not going there. I think FaZe is trying to catch him off guard, not expecting Team Spirit's defense, likely not expecting an AWP in the field from FaZe. So if they were to get caught off guard by Brokey's AWP, it'd be great. But now that he's got 15 HP, he's going to be way more passive than they would have liked him to be. Now he has to set up as more of a supportive kind of element on these executes.
Well, once again, coming to Cat early in the round for FaZe again. Smoke's going to go down on the cross.
It's one of those things where when you play against a defense like this, it's really frustrating when you can't win the rounds of the A bomb site because you're like, we're getting all this real estate for free. They're not harassing us off short. They're not harassing us in Xbox. We're getting all the control we want to have an effective hit. But once we pull the trigger is when we're getting beat. But you feel like you want to keep going back to it because you're getting the control so easily.
Hero machine cameras. We got wedges on Mongo by
Once again, puts that AWP on the
Mongo ne yene so no Mongo jai da bo ye bo ji.
Defense here on this B bomb site though. If FaZe go elsewhere, they're going to be out of position.
Shiro off ne. Ai don't let off ne. What the fuck? Don't off me ko chain na re. Mi do bi le ka do la bo jiu da ne re. Then ne jet ne la mi do bi le kaung la ma. Then ne ma frozen sound ne mo li long cha လိုက်တယ် frozen 7 second ခဏ sound မှာ down နေနေရ Jacob ပြချက်ချင်း twist က down ကို 10 trade တယ်ကားမတော်ထက်ရှိတယ် Zoin နဲ့ carrying မှာထက်ရတယ်တန်တယ်မှာ frozen ခုလုတ်ပေးမှရမယ်ဆိုထွက်လာဆို chopper ပြခွဲနေရှိကို twist ကိုပါထက်ရရင်းနဲ့ပဲ mid to be ကလုံးဝမဖြစ်သွားတဲ့နောက်မှာ Brokey 1 versus 4 0k oh my god ကိုကောင်းမောကြည့်ရချင်းမှာ 0k อ่ะမင်းတို့ Brokey စောက်ပြီးဖိသွားထဲမိတယ်
investment goes absolutely nowhere. He'll get no bonus money, so congrats. You have an AWP, you still have no armor, you got no money built up as well, and the rest of your team is likely going to have to descend to a smaller buy. Now, the nice thing if you're Brokey is it means in this next round, his number is probably going to get called as someone who needs to open up the round for FaZe. So he'll have another crack at it.
Separate ပါကြိုက်လဲတော့ separate လားပါကြိုက် separate ပါကြိုက် separate ပါကြိုက်တာ handicap လားဟုတ်ပါဘူး separate handicap ဆိုတော့ကို round over ဖြစ်မယ်လို့မြင်တာပဲရေကမုန်းနေရမလားလဲပြင်ဝဲထည့်ချင်လို့ဘယ်မှာထည့်ရမလဲခါဒီနဲ့ဒုံအသိဝင်တဲ့မုန်းရင်တခါမှမနိုင် separate ဒုံအသိမှာခေါ်လာသေးတယ်ဟုတ်လားဖာစီမန်နေနဲ့နင်ကလုံနေလိုက်ဟိုကနေစောက်ရကောင်းတဲ့ကောင်ယူခေါ်ပြီးတော့ဟုတ်ကြောက်ပါခေါ်လေလာကပြီမှာတော့သေးကြီးတဲ့
establish it. So FaZe, I mean, excuse me, Team Spirit, they're not going to be afraid of any of that. They're like, yeah, you've won around there, but we've handled it more often than not.
Well, coming to B again. Deep smoke. That's kind of canceled any plans of going in there for FaZe.
Remember, they saw the AWP at the B bomb site as well the last 2 rounds. They know they're up against a double AWP setup as well. And once again from Team Spirit,
Wani ala, wow, rich is all. Oh, can I upload it? How dare Berry to Johnny? Berry to Johnny. Or different moment broke you. That's do call dear Luyoma separate. Oh, Berry to Johnny. Can I be to Jat to Jat? Google Neji was in Bima. Tiny Jack of Middle Talani. So I had Brokey, teeny out Tayare. No ball, short. Hey, Brokey. He don't let Jigan and Jemma. 30အောင်ရှိအောင်မယ်။အော်30ပဲရှိမလဲ။ဘာလို့ဒီကမှလာတော့စောလို့လို့မောင်းကြိုးပြီဟုတ်ပါ
Switched over to a rifle, was handed an AK-47 by a teammate. So a couple different looks now being thrown by this defense at FaZe, and Team Spirit's in complete control, and it feels like they haven't had to break into the playbook. We haven't seen any. Outside of the pistol round.
နော် line ချင်းပြီမယ်တော် line ချင်းပြီ line ချင်းပြီမယ် very ထိုးကြနေတော့ very ရန်ထိုးကြနေခဏလေးအမှန်နဲ့မို့လို့
I feel like timeout for Neo. He has to be a lot more vocal in a scenario like this.
Yeah, I mean, it might be something where the team at the moment isn't communicating the way you would have thought, isn't as loud, isn't as proactive, isn't coming up with solutions. So Kerrigan might be feeling a little bit frustrated with a lot of responsibility on his shoulders if he's not getting that kind of input from his teammates, from his players. Highlighted Twist when he rejoined this roster as a player. He's never had in a team an effective second caller coming off of his stint as an IGL over in Team Liquid. Said Twist gained a lot of ground and built up a new aspect of his game and himself as a teammate as well. But it's not going great for the moment if you're FaZe.
No, you've tried a lot of different strategies on this T side as well. A lot of different timings at different portions of the round. None of it really working. Now a miss mid. Door smoke. They missed that rise up the way I wanted.
They missed that earlier, and they got to be careful about that. The AWP can peek over the top of this smoke, falling a little bit shallow.
Yeah, not a great look here for FaZe. Luckily, you know, they have thrown away that secondary op, which was the one peeking up mid in the hands of Donk. Instead, he's going to be playing the rifle in the bomb site. You can see, again, Team Spirit, you can have middle, you can have short if you want it, FaZe. It's just these fights at the ends of the rounds that Spirit are feeling so confident in.
Yeah, well, they just feel content of saying, like, we don't want to lose a player in middle, lose a player at short, and kind of give you a man advantage and give you the ability to work the map. We'd rather just defend you at the point of execution and just say, what have you got? You know, like, they just don't want to lose anyone early. Happy to descend into the late